You must have often seen during whitewashing in your house, workers mixing lime, tuna with water. What happens? The mixture becomes hot and steam starts coming out. You must have seen burning coal changing into ash and smoke. You must have seen iron getting rusted. All these are the examples of chemical reactions because some new substances are formed in all of them. So, in a chemical reaction, the substances known as reactants are converted into new substances called products. But are all the chemical reactions same? Or there exist different categories of chemical reactions? In fact, chemical reactions are of different types, and in this module we will learn about them. Different types of chemical reactions are combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, combination reaction. Let us take a small amount of CaO, calcium oxide, in a beaker and slowly add in this reaction, CaO and H2O combine to form a single product, that is CaOH2. Such reactions in which two or more substances combine to form a single substance are called combination reaction. Example of combination reaction is when coal burns in air to form carbon dioxide. In this reaction, two elements, carbon and oxygen, are combining together to form a single compound, carbon dioxide. Decomposition reactions. Let us take about 2 grams of FeSO4, ferrous sulfate crystals, in a test tube. Hold it with a test tube holder and heat it over the flame of a burner. What do you observe? Green color of ferrous sulfate crystals changes to white, and then a brown solid is formed, which is ferric oxide, and a colorless gas having the smell of sulfur evolves out of the boiling tube. In fact, the ferrous sulfate crystals, FeSO4, 7H2O, lose water when heated to form anhydrous ferrous sulfate, which is white in color. It then decomposes to ferric oxide, Fe2O3, sulfur dioxide, SO2, and sulfur trioxide, SO3. Such reaction in which a single reactant breaks down to give simpler products are called decomposition reactions. displacement reaction. Take a few iron nails and clean them by rubbing with sandpaper. Tie 2 iron nails with a thread and immerse them carefully in the copper sulfate solution. What do you observe? After some time, the iron nails become brownish in color and the blue color of copper sulfate solution fades. In fact, in this reaction, iron, which is more reactive than copper, has displaced or removed copper from copper sulfate solution. When zinc granules are placed in copper sulfate solution, zinc displaces copper from copper sulfate compound, and as a result, the copper is set free. The blue color of copper sulfate solution fades due to formation of colorless zinc sulfate. A reddish-brown deposit of copper metal is formed on the zinc granules. This displacement reaction takes place because zinc is more reactive than copper. Displacement reaction. Take colorless solution of sodium sulfate in a test tube and add colorless solution of barium chloride to it. What do you observe? Some white-colored insoluble substance is formed. Yes, when sodium sulfate and barium chloride reacts, soluble sodium chloride and insoluble barium sulfate is formed. In this reaction, barium sulfate is formed as a white insoluble solid called precipitate. Here, the exchange of ions takes place. Such reactions in which exchange of ions between the reactants takes place to form 2 new compounds are called double displacement reaction. Other example of double displacement reaction is the reaction of lead nitrate and potassium iodide, in which yellow precipitate of lead iodide and soluble potassium nitrate is formed. The insoluble barium sulfate and lead iodide are formed as precipitates. Any reaction in which an insoluble solid called precipitate is formed that separates from the solution is called a precipitation reaction. Oxidation and reduction. Let us take copper powder in a china dish and heat it. What do you observe? The surface of copper powder gets coated with black copper oxide. As oxygen is added to copper, it is called oxidation reaction. Such reactions where either oxygen is added or hydrogen is removed are called oxidation reactions. Now, if we pass hydrogen gas over the heated copper oxide, the black coating on the surface turns brown as oxygen is removed from copper oxide and copper is obtained again. Oxidation and reduction take place together. The oxidation and reduction reactions are also called redox reactions. The substance which gains oxygen during a reaction is said to be oxidized. And the substance which gives oxygen or removes hydrogen from oxidation is called an oxidizing agent. For example, in this reaction, copper 2 oxide is losing oxygen O2 and is being reduced to copper. hydrogen, H2, is gaining oxygen and is being oxidized. As here, one reactant gets oxidized while the other gets reduced during a reaction. Therefore, it is an example of oxidation-reduction reaction or redox reaction.